Oh, he's seen me. That's kind of bullshit, but
Oh, he killed you?
yeah.
He doesn't know you're dead yet. He's still shooting at you.
The fuck? Dude
Yeah,
just
and there's that
knew
other
I
dude
was
still to worry
there?
about.
Like, what? How did he kill you? And like, oh yeah, he's over there in that bush. He's over there. I see him. I see him with my wall hacks.
And for today's video, we teach you how to not be a cuck in Escape from Tarkov. God dang it. Oh, that is not the purpose of today's video. All right, and on to the real topic of today's video, a discussion around why perspective in Escape from Tarkov matters. I'm Doc. Welcome to the Average Gamer, guys. Thanks for clicking on this one. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and hopefully pick a few things up and maybe join us in the discussion down below. I got a unique opportunity over this last, I think 2 weekends ago from the recordings of this, to take a look at two different perspectives for one fight. You saw the opening clip. I'm going to put some disclaimers up front here. No shade to that streamer at all. I had a really positive interaction with him and his couple of buddies after this was over. Jumped in their stream, said GG's. They were really cool about it. But I will tell you that post the death and a few minutes after that in the stream, there was definitely some consideration and maybe a potential chance where that person thought that I may actually be cheating, may have used walls in order to figure out exact position of where that person was. I'm going to take the opportunity to break down, one, why that's not true. I can tell you that just for myself, if you are familiar with the channel, you know I've been running a hardcore series for a couple of seasons. I've got an escape series for a couple of seasons, which is a solo standard playthrough. We stream relatively often, and I am closing in on my 6th Kappa since my start of playing this game. I say all that not to gloat or showboat or do any of that stuff, but just that I have a lot of knowledge in the game. I have a lot of hours, I have a lot of time. Really enjoy making Escape from Tarkov content. Enjoy guides, enjoy doing a whole bunch of other stuff on the channel. And we have all been in the position of this other streamer. Myself, be the first to admit, I have done this. I have called sus interactions that were probably not as sus as they ended up really being. Now, I'm not going to dive into, there is certainly a cheater problem in this game. I personally don't think it's as bad as people say, but I also probably get a smaller portion of that with maybe the times that I play. In addition to where I play, I understand that in other parts of the world, it is way, way worse than it is probably for us here in the United States. That's not to say that it's not out there. I've certainly run into my handful of cheaters, and probably more than my handful in my time playing. But I don't want to get into that as part of the discussion of this video. What I do want to get into is a couple ideas around why being able to have multiple perspectives to the same fight, as well as some things that I think Escape from Tarkov needs to work on in order to help players, especially newer players and even veteran players, see interactions and be able to engage with the game in a better way that makes things feel not so sus. I want to take the opportunity by doing that to show both perspectives. So you're going to see both clips. It's very important that I think for myself that these are as unedited as possible. There is some cuts in here, but mostly these are pretty solid 5-minute clips where you're going to be able to see my perspective first and then my opponent's POV. Please take a look at that. Please watch those. Please listen for cues. Also, please take into consideration that as the recording of this again was captured a couple of weeks ago, weekends ago, from Twitch, that I think I was level 46, 47, 45, anywhere between 45 and 47. Perception skill, decently high. I was fighting essentially a team of level 30s and below. I also think there are some occlusion issues here as it relates to this. Where we are in interchange, it's surprising to me being able to look at his perspective and think about things that I would have thought he would have been able to hear from me, noise that I was making that he did not. And then vice versa. Obviously, there are sound cues that I'm able to get that he either doesn't realize he's making or can't hear himself. And there's a few. We're going to dive into those as well after we get through both perspectives of this. Again, I just want to say up front, no shade, nothing like that, but I hope it's a good way to look at this fight from both angles, and if you dissect it a little bit, be able to pick up the things that helped me to win that fight, as well as some things that even his own team and he himself said that we don't realize in that post-raid frustration. And we all get it. It happens to everybody. Some people it happens for 10 seconds, some 30, some 5 minutes, which I think is probably a little closer with that one shaded to. But with all that being said, we all have that, especially if we're having a frustrating night of Tarkov. So we're going to jump into the clips. I'm going to give a little bit of context before we get there. All right, before we jump into the actual footage and the both perspectives of this fight, I want to give a little bit of context about how we got to where we get to in the clip. So we're on interchange, nighttime, like late evening, starting to move towards morning. So it's pretty dark. By the end of the raid, it actually brightened up pretty bit. Sloth and I, duo, we spawn over by the rail extract, and we essentially move straight up. We hear a bunch of shots, and we push straight underneath Idea. I am looking for Killa, so I want to do a quick Killa spawn. We heard a bunch of grenades and a whole bunch of stuff fighting. We have a 2-man designated by these two little black and white dots here that ended up spawning somewhere over here by power. Then we have the 3-man where we engaged. They got basically the fuel tanker spawn. They were also looking for PvP, so Sloth and I were looking for PvP. This 3-man was looking for some PvP, nighttime interchange. They spawned by that tanker. They pushed up. They got into some interaction here with these two guys that spawned by power. They did some stuff. This 3-man hears these guys turn on power, and they move this way to come loot, and then subsequently hit this stash marked right here by that nice beautiful X. And I know I'm drawing all over this, so bear with me and my paint skills. This is essentially the setup we find ourselves in. Outside of these two guys, we're not really 100% sure. We believe one of them died, and then one of them actually, I think, moved back through power and made his way out. But essentially, the 2 green stars are Sloth and myself, and these 3 stars are where we engage this 3-man team as we jump in. So with that understanding, we'll take you to my perspective, and then from that, we'll jump into my opponent's perspective. Enjoy the videos. That's out by the stash.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up on the ramp, I think. To your right, maybe? Right, he's close. Probably right on the wall.
Bro, that's not a good idea.
Did you kill him?
Nope. He's coming.
I had to drop him, I'm sorry.
Nope. Do what you gotta do. Gotta be more though, right?
Depends if you killed that guy that was farther back. Yeah, there's more. I heard one. He's close to where he was. I'll keep healing here if you can get a flank.
So you think he's just on the other side of that container?
Yeah. Different guys?
Yep. I don't see anybody on your container.
I hear him. He's like right there. Or he's on the bushes on the other side. I can give you my nades. Come here. Two right there. I would go like straight forward and just like straight over, straight forward. You hit him. You hit him. Did you get him?
I'll have to check. No.
Fucking same thing, man. He's right there. You gotta be fucked up. I don't know why that sounded like. How did you not kill that guy with that nade? I don't know, man. Good.
Yeah, not me. Or it's a kind of bait. You doing the same thing?
No, I'm fucking killing a guy. Push down long side. I'm just gonna lay on this dude for a second. Checking this other bush here. Running up. I did kill this guy.
I'm creeping. Gonna find this guy. Alright, just on the move.
Killed another guy.
Someone's creeping behind me. Who? Someone's on the ramp right here
Yeah,
behind me,
road.
above me,
I'm on road.
above me on the ramp, right here, directly behind me. Bro, that's not a good idea.
Did you kill him?
No, there's a guy right here on this ramp. He's throwing nades at me.
I'm looking.
I just hit him once.
Are you? He's inside.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm
Yeah.
dead. He's in behind the fence. He's behind the fence on the ramp. Close ramp, not far ramp. Close ramp.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe he fucking killed me there.
What a fucking weirdo, dude.
He's live right now too.
Oh yeah, where is he?
I'm below ramp.
He's on the ramp, right where I told you. The close ramp
Yeah.
to us.
Is that Jiggy?
I'm in a
Is that what
bush
Jiggy
on your
just
right
said?
side. He's on the left side.
I know where this guy's at. Yeah, I didn't know. You just sound suspect.
He hit me on top of the head.
There's a fence there. He has to like go out and around, doesn't he? Get to you.
Huh?
He has to go out and
Yeah,
around
he
to
can't
get
get
to
to me.
Okay.
He knows you're there. He knows you're
Yeah,
there.
I see him. He's up front by the van.
Are you across the road from me
I'm
right now?
on
Like,
your
can you
right
see me?
side.
You can see me?
Yeah.
Because I can see a guy sitting right there.
I'm
And
on the
making
right
noise.
side in the
Yeah.
bush.
I did kill the first guy, so there's only one man left on that other team.
You're right next to the wall, Jiggy?
Yeah. This guy's gonna be on
Oh,
your
I hit-
left side.
I hit 5 of 6 shots, bro.
Yeah, that dude with the lasers behind you then.
It's a different guy.
It's
That's the guy
different,
that
yeah.
killed me behind him.
I know.
That nade. Oh, that almost killed me.
Alright, if he pushes across, I should be able to clip him.
He's running BP too.
Oh, that nade's gonna kill me. Oh, that bounced past.
How many nades does this fucker have? It's like his fourth
Probably
grenade.
a lot.
Ultra Chad.
Ooh, you're hurt, dude.
Yeah, no, I can't heal. He's gonna hear me.
When he shot at me, I said, "Hey, not a good idea, dude."
Yeah, he's still lurking over here. There he is. Stop moving so much, bud. Wait, he didn't have any teammates?
No, he said you. He said I had teammates.
Oh, you didn't have any teammates.
He was talking to people, so I don't know if they're in game with him or not, though.
This dude's fucking moving.
Yeah.
Well, he's seen me. That's kind of bullshit, but
Oh, he killed you?
yeah.
All right, now that you've had an opportunity to see both POVs, I do want to share, and I pulled out a couple of really key moments that I think helped at least me in this fight to be able to hone in and figure out more exactly the position. 3 of the interactions that you're about to see in the small clips, and I'm going to do them side by side. We're going to show mine and hopefully perk your ears up, be able to listen. You'll be able to hear what I was able to hear, then subsequently try to match it up as best I could with their video to be able to also hear the sound that I think they made, which if we're paying attention in this game, I think a lot of this goes unnoticed, especially in the heat of the moment, but both sounds from both perspectives. 3 of these I think are pretty well clear for both parties to be able to hear. It just comes down to recognition of that. That's a hard word. One is, I think, an area that needs some significant improvement, which is going to be the grenade explosion. I believe it's the 3rd clip that you're going to see, and it is really clear on my screen and in my recording. I hear it as plain as day, and that is one of the key indicators that gives away the positioning over the course of that fight. My opponent interestingly enough, makes the noise of that happening. However, I don't believe his character does, and I don't believe he hears it. This is one of the key areas, and I'll show the clips here, but this is one of the key areas that I think we need to really talk about some improvement when it comes to Escape from Tarkov, sound design, and what you hear. That is a huge giveaway, and I think of all the sounds and ambient noise and everything else that goes on in the game, if your player gets shot, especially if you don't have painkillers on and you're making noise that can be pretty distinct and give away a position, I think you have to, as a player, be able to hear it. Let's jump into the clips.
Gotta be more though, right?
Depends if you killed that guy that was farther back. Yeah, there's more. I heard one.
What a fucking weirdo, dude.
He's live, right?
I don't see anybody on your container.
I hear him. He's
You can see me?
Yeah.
Because I can see a guy sitting right there.
I'm on.
They
Yeah.
killed me behind him.
I know.
That nade. Oh, that almost killed me.
pretty interesting, right? When you get a chance to see both side by side. The other thing I'm going to share, and I said this, I think, at the beginning, is a lot of times in the heat of the moment, we say things and we even have recognition in that moment that there's a chance that people have heard us, maybe know where we are. We're certainly hoping that they don't, and I think that was the strategy here from his perspective. But we say things and we even get information from our teammates. I'm going to share a couple of clips here pulled again from his perspective where either himself said something that made him recognize that there's a good chance that I knew where he was, or his teammates actually had the ability to call out and say, hey, because they were able to see my stream, that they know that there are other people involved with this. So check these out.
He has to go out and
Yeah,
around
he
your
can't
team.
get to me.
Okay.
He knows you're there. He knows you're
Yeah,
there.
I see him.
Are you across the road from me
I'm
right now?
on
Like,
your
can you
right
see-
side.
You can see me?
Yeah.
Because I can see a guy sitting right there.
I'm
And
on the
making
right
noise.
side in the
Yeah.
bush.
Ooh, you're hurt, dude.
Yeah, no, I can't heal. He's gonna hear me. But he didn't have any teammates.
No, he said you. He said I had teammates.
When we take an opportunity to lump all of this information, take a look from both perspectives, and recognize sound cues and even information that we're getting, it just comes down to back to the idea that in the heat of the moment, and especially after we die in Escape from Tarkov, especially maybe in what seems like a frustrating way, where maybe we thought we had an advantage, or we thought that maybe they didn't know where we were, that when you pull the information back, it can be pretty clear that that was a fight that was going to go in my direction. Now, obviously, hit some shots. We were able to get enough sound cues that we were able to put it all together. Maybe we had some distinct advantages there based on, again, perception level, occlusion, how I was able to hear him with, and maybe he wasn't able to hear me, like healing behind that container and a few other things. But a lot plays into how that interaction now seems a lot less sus. It seems pretty easy to understand that we're able to track in. I will tell you, as I was dancing back and forth and trying to poke out, the clip is kind of grainy, but I was able to essentially see his helmet with his night vision on poking through the bush, and I was obviously able to make that shot. But there was enough sound cues before that visual recognition, that I was able to also kind of pinpoint and pretty confidently tell. And you can even see myself kind of juggle that back and forth, pretty confidently tell that there was somebody over there, and that they were still alive. We ended up winning that fight. Obviously, we ended up turning on, and I did not recognize at the beginning, but ended up killing the third member of that team as well. Got lucky with actually one sound cue from them kind of walking through that tree a little bit, which then we hit some good shots, and we got lucky enough. A few things I think Escape from Tarkov needs to work on. One, I mentioned it earlier, but we've got to work on sounds. There needs to be certain sounds that absolutely both players hear, whether that's your PMC making it or otherwise. There should never be a sound in this game that I think you make that you don't hear yourself that other players can hear. Just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that is a huge gap that definitely needs to be fixed. In addition to that, I think there is a lot, and a lot of folks in the community have talked about this, but there is a lot of things that need to be worked on from sound design perspective. I brought up healing. Healing for me is one of the, it's just bad. I don't play with like huge crazy volume, but it's certainly turned up. I hate ripping an AFAC or an IFAC or a Salewa and healing in this game. I think it is way too loud. This interaction here and being able to do this breakdown in this video has helped me realize that that sound is not as loud as it is made to seem when obviously you're doing it to yourself. I think there's a lot of opportunity here with Battlestate Games and with Escape from Tarkov, especially as it goes forward, and especially as we get into Arena and more of the PvP focused, where some stealth and some ability to do a few of those things. I think there's a lot of work to be done on balancing a few of these things out. Sound levels, there's obviously a lot of work to be done when it comes to sound inside and outside of buildings, staircases. There's a lot of opportunity for improvement there. But I also think they need to look at holistically the sound design of the game and recognize that players like myself and others that have a lot of experience in the game use sound so critically. Sound, I would rather have sound in this game than almost vision. That's the reason that I don't wear an Alton, that I don't wear a kill helmet, that I don't go in with a helmet that restricts the ability to wear a set of contacts, because sound is so critically important. And a few folks have said this, you have to sound horror in this game. And by doing that, you can get some very distinct advantages over players, especially newer players or players that don't have contacts, or even just the perspective of being able to hear that. Critically important. I don't think that's the way that it should be designed, but it is a feature of the game, and sometimes you got to use what you're given. I think there is certainly a place for it. I think depending on play styles and certain things like that, this can be one of the key components of that, but there is, I think, more around that. I also just want to talk about the idea that's been shared a few times that I think needs to be implemented in some way in Tarkov, which is the ability to get a different perspective. Nikita just recently on a podcast mentioned that they're going to talk about or thinking about doing some kind of helmet cam, which gives you your perspective, which you then get the footage for. I think that's great. I think that's going to be cool from a content creation standpoint. I think it's going to be good for those folks that can't record and watch their own clips, which is hugely important and would probably minimize a lot of the cheater discussion if folks did that more regularly and reviewed their gameplay. I get the advantage of doing that, recording, making clips, making videos, because I have to watch my own gameplay, which is hugely important and can really help you. There has been a lot of interactions, I will tell you, that I'm like, that didn't feel great, but I go back and to watch the clip and I'm like, wow, I'm just dumb, or I just totally missed that. So that's going to be good. I think there needs to be another solution that allows for people to get a different type of perspective. I'm going to throw an idea out, which I don't know that I've heard from a lot of folks. A heat map. I would love to see a top-down heat map of each of the individual maps that maybe just shows player movements and maybe player interactions like firing. As simple as that. Top-down, you don't even need names. It can just be different colored dots. It can run at, like, you know, I don't know, 3 times speed. Call it a UAV or some type of thermal imaging system that runs over. Maybe you can pay for it like a service from, I don't know, Peacekeeper, and you get an opportunity to see a top-down map that you can just watch to show exactly where you were. Maybe it highlights you, and then it shows everybody else moving around on the map. Anything that's going to be able to show players perspective and show players where they got shot from without giving, because that's the concern from the other side of the fence, is too much information, I think would be a huge help. We are never going to get to a point in this game where I think we get any type of kill cam or we get the ability to see the other person's perspective. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's realistic to think that. With all those things being said, some type of additional information I think would be hugely important to help players realize that not every interaction they have is a cheater. I think it would help to even call out the cheaters themselves more easily by being able to review that and say that's impossible. Right? You'd be able to pull from a heat map, you'd be able to pull positions, locations, even movement speed that just doesn't seem right, and pick some of that information up. There just needs to be some sort of additional solution that new players and veteran players can have access to that helps to gain a little bit more of that post-raid knowledge, especially after you die. Knowledge is very hard to come from in Escape from Tarkov. Perspective is huge when it comes to picking that knowledge up. And a lot of times we just don't get the opportunity for that, and there needs to be a solution going forward. So I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments down below. If you have any great ideas, absolutely. I'm very interested to see how Arena is going to handle this, whether it be like security cam footage or something else. I think that is going to be another place where we absolutely need this, especially when you consider the time to kill is very, very low in this game if you're a skilled player, or you just get unlucky, or that other player gets lucky and is able to get that one-tap headshot. So again, I want to kind of wrap this one up. I didn't want to take too much time and ramble too much, but hopefully you gained some interesting tidbits. Hopefully you learned a few things that maybe can help you in your gameplay and maybe give you a unique perspective the next time you run into a sus interaction. If I could share any last thoughts with you, it's record your gameplay, watch it back. That's going to help you beyond more than you can possibly imagine. In addition to that, if you do get killed by a streamer, go check out the VOD. Go see what happened. Before you call them a camper in a bush, maybe go see that they just had stopped there for a second because they were packing a mag or healing or doing something else. Or maybe they actually are a camper and you can feel validated, because that certainly is probably going to happen too. Try to get that other perspective if you can. Again, I'm not saying don't ever call out a cheater. There's cheaters in this game. It's a problem that needs to be fixed. There's some unique ideas around that. Again, don't want to get into it for this video, but hopefully I've given you a little bit of a different perspective when you come to your engagements. Finish up by also saying, again, no shade to that streamer, good interaction afterwards, GG's and the rest of his gameplay, and hopefully if he ends up seeing this, I hope maybe he takes a few things away that can be helpful, and I would love to run some raids and hang out and do some stuff here in the near future if he is interested. All that being said, I've been Doc. We are the Average Gamer Guys. Quick plug here to close out YouTube. If this is your first video with us, please consider subscribing, checking the rest of the channel out. We got a ton of Escape from Tarkov content. We do videos 5 days a week, and we got a whole lot of different stuff on the channel. Things like this, if you enjoy it, we'll definitely do more, and a whole bunch of others. So again, thank you so much for stopping in and checking this one out. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm also going to throw some socials at you. As I mentioned, we did capture this footage over on Twitch. Sorry for the crappy quality again. But we do stream Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got Twitter, Twitch, Discord, TikTok, all links in the description if you want to give some follows. Come chat with us about this live sometime, or just run some raids, have a good time. We'd love to have you over there and to be able to see you and all that good stuff. So thanks so much again for checking this one out, and we'll catch you in the next Escape from Tarkov video. Peace.